ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. First of all, offer my millions of obeisances to lotus feet of Asmadya Guru Pad Padma Nitila Parishta Jagat Guru Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Tirandi Swami Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Dandi Maharaj, Namnishta Santa Shri Aniruddhas Prabhuji, all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, please accept my humble obeisances. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Canto 2, the Cosmic Manifestation. Chapter is titled Puruṣa-sūkta Confirmed. Text 1. Brahma vacha vacham vannimukham kshetram chandasam saptadhatava havyakavyam mritannanam jivva sarvarasasya cha. Brahma vacha, Lord Brahma said, vacham, of the voice, vanne, of fire, mukham, the mouth, kshetram, the generating center, chandasam, of the Vedic hymns such as Gayatri, sapta, seven, dhatava, skin and other layers, havya kavya, offering for the demigods and the forefathers, amrita, food for human beings, annanam, of all sorts of foodstuffs, jiva, the tongue, sarva, all, rasasya, of all delicacies, cha, also. Lord Brahma said the mouth of the Virat Purusha, the universal form of the Lord, is the generating center of the voice, and the controlling deity is fire. His skin and 6 other layers are the generating centers of the Vedic hymns, and his tongue is the productive center of different foodstuffs and delicacies for offering to the demigods, the forefathers, and the general mass of people. Purport: the opulences of the universal form of the Lord are described herein. It is said that his mouth is the generating center of all kinds of voices, and its controlling deity is the fire demigod, and his skin and other 6 layers of bodily construction are the representative generating centers of the 7 kinds of Vedic hymns, like the Gayatri. Gayatri is the beginning of all Vedic mantras, and it is explained in the first volume of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Since the generating centers are the different parts of the universal form of the Lord, and since the form of the Lord is transcendental to the material creation, it is to be understood that the voice, the tongue, the skin, etc. suggests that the Lord in his transcendental form is not without them. The material voice, or the energy of taking in foodstuff, is generated originally from the Lord. Such actions are but perverted reflections of the original reservoirs. The transcendental situation is not without spiritual variegatedness. In the spiritual world, all the perverted forms of material variegatedness are fully represented in their original spiritual identity. The only difference is that material activities are contaminated by the 3 modes of material nature, whereas the potencies in the spiritual world are all pure because they are engaged in the unalloyed transcendental loving service of the Lord. In the spiritual world, the Lord is the sublime enjoyer of everything, and the living entities there are all engaged in his transcendental loving service without any contamination of the modes of material nature. The activities in the spiritual world are without any of the inebrities of the material world, but there is no question of impersonal voidness on the spiritual platform as suggested by the impersonalist. Devotional service is defined in the Narad Pancharatra as follows: Sarvopadir vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate. Originally, since all the senses are produced of the Lord's reservoir of senses, the sensual activities of the material world are to be purified by the process of devotional service, and thus the perfection of life can be attained simply by purifying the present position of our material activities. And the purifying process begins from the stage of being liberated from the conception of different designation. Every living entity is engaged in some sort of service, either for the self or for the family or for the society, country, etc. But unfortunately, all such services are rendered due to material attachment. The attachments of the material affinity may be simply changed to the service of the Lord, and thus the treatment of being freed from material attachment begins automatically. The process of liberation is therefore easier through devotional service than by any other methods. For in the Bhagavad Gita 12.5 it is said that one is subjected to various kinds of tribulations if one is impersonally attached. Kleshodikatarastesham avyaktasikta jidasam avyaktahigatar dukkham dehavadhyurvapyate. Text 2. Sarvasunam cha vayushcha tannase paramayane ashvino roshadhinam cha grano moda pramodayo. Sarva, all, asunam, different kinds of life air, cha, and vayu, of the air, cha, also, tat, his, nase, in the nose, parama ayane, in the transcendental generating center, ashvino, of the Ashwini Kumars, of the Ashwini Kumar demigods, oshadhinam, of medicinal herbs, cha, and granaha, is smelling power, moda, pleasure, pramodayuho, specific sport. His two nostrils are the generating center of our breathing and all other airs. His smelling power generates the Ashwini Kumar demigods and all kinds of medicinal herbs, and his breathing energies produce different kinds of fragrance. Text 3. रूपाणां तेजसां चक्षुर्दिवा सूर्यस्य चाक्षिणी कर्णौ दिशां च तीर्थानां श्रोत्रमाकाश शब्दयो. Rupanam, for all kinds of forms, tejasam, of all that is illuminating, chakshu, the eyes, diva, that which glitters, suryasya, of the sun, cha, also, akshini, the eyeballs, karnau, the ears, disham, of all directions, cha, and tirthanam, of all the Vedas, shotram, the sense of hearing, akasha, the sky, shabdayo, of all sounds. His eyes are the generating centers of all kinds of forms, and they glitter and illuminate. His eyeballs are like the sun and the heavenly planets. His ears hear from all sides and are receptacles for all the Vedas, and his sense of hearing is the generating center of the sky and all kinds of sounds. Purport. The word Tirthanam is sometimes interpreted to mean the places of pilgrimage, but Srila Jiva Goswami says that it means the reception of the Vedic transcendental knowledge. The propounders of the Vedic knowledge are also known as the Tirthas. Text 4. Tadgatram vastu saranam sobhagasya cha bhajanam tvagasya sparsha vayuscha sarvamedasya chaivahi. Tat, his gatram, bodily surface, vastu saranam, of the active principles of all articles, sobhagasya, of all auspicious opportunities, cha, and bhajanam, the field of production, tvak, skin, asya, his, sparsha, touch, vayu, of the moving airs, cha, also, sarva, all kinds of medasya, of sacrifices, cha, also, eva, certainly, he, exactly. His bodily surface is the breeding ground for the active principles of everything, and for all kinds of auspicious opportunities. His skin, like the moving air, is the generating center for all kinds of sense of touch, and is a place for performing all kinds of sacrifice. The air is the moving agent of all the planets, and as such the generating centers for promotion to the deserving planets. The sacrifices are his bodily surface and are naturally the origin of all auspicious opportunities. Text 5. Romanyo udbijja jatinam Romanyudbijja jatinam yerva yajnasa samrita keshashmushru nakhanyasya shila loha bhravidyutam. Romani, hairs on the body, udbijja, vegetables, jatinam, of the kingdom, yai, by which, va, either, yajna, sacrifices, two, but, Samvrutaha, particularly served, Kesha, hairs on the head, Smashru, facial hair, Nakhani, nails, Asya of him, Shila, stones, Loha, iron ores, Abra, clouds, Vidyutam, electricity. The hairs on his body are the cause of all vegetation, particularly of those trees which are required as ingredients for sacrifice. The hairs on his head and face are reservoirs for the clouds, and his nails are the breeding ground of electricity, stones, and iron ores. The polished nails of the Lord generate electricity, and the clouds rest on the hairs of his head. One can therefore collect all sorts of necessities of life from the person of the Lord, and therefore the Vedas affirm that everything that is produced is caused by the Lord. The Lord is the supreme cause of all causes. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpataruvesha krupa sindhubheva cha paritanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo